This is Matt Russell from the FX Power Course, and welcome to the DailyFX walkthrough.
So here are the four pairs that I will be discussing this evening: the Euro Pound, the Aussie Kiwi, the Pound Swiss, and the Euro Swiss. So let's go ahead and pull up the charts. The first chart is the Euro Pound. Let me go in order here, and this is the daily chart. Let me get that up. And this is the simple support line that I added a few reports back. Again, we had the break beneath that support line, and now prices are falling. If you're still in this trade, I would continue to hold the short trade off that test of the previous support line, which is now acting as resistance, and prices seem to be heading lower now. If you're flat, I really don't see any good favorable risk-reward entry at this point. I would just continue to wait for prices to come back and test that previous support line now acting as resistance one more time, or just check for the next video for any maybe short-term setups that might materialize in the next 24 hours. The next chart is the Aussie Kiwi, and not much has changed here. We've had a very large rally now off that second test of the 38.2. I would take some profits, as I mentioned during yesterday's report, above that 124 figure, and then I would continue to hold the position because in theory prices should reach that 29.70 area. Moving forward, if you are flat right now and have no position, I would add this simple support line to the daily chart, which I've added on the chart here, and wait for prices to come down and test that line. That would be the only favorable risk-reward entry that I can see moving forward. The next chart is the Pound Swiss, and this is the trade setup that I mentioned yesterday. I personally was stopped out on this trade idea, entering just beneath that 170 figure. My stop was in the 170.90 area, and I was stopped out on this trade idea. As I was mentioning in the previous reports, it wasn't I didn't feel very confident in the trade idea, but it's a trade that I would enter again if the same if the same situation materialized in the future. So I'm not sad about getting stopped out. What are you going to do? That's part of trading. And the thing is, when you do get stopped out, the most important thing is that you honor your stop, and you take the loss. Maybe you take a day off or something like that, and then look for the next opportunity. But you shouldn't dwell, and the worst thing you could ever do is move your stop in terms of the trade idea, which is to have, and this is a good example, I had this trade on the radar screen for a few days, waiting for prices to come up to my entry level. They got there, but then prices continued to move higher, and I got stopped out. But the point is that I wasn't married to the trade idea, and I took my loss, and now I'm moving on to the next situation. The next chart is the Euro Swiss, and not much has changed here either. This is the two major technical considerations that I have on the chart here. This would be the longer term resistance line on top and the bull flag pattern, and we can see how very steep that bull flag is actually, and prices have broken out above the bull flag pattern. Let me zoom in a little bit now, and are now using the previous resistance line after the breakout to the upside as support. So again, I would have a bullish bias against this pair, against this low, which would be 50.75 area, and looking for prices now to test that longer term resistance line, which would be the high percentage trade, waiting for that to materialize over the next 24 to 48 hours. Again, my name is Matt Russell. I'm an FX Power Course instructor here at FXCM. Thanks for listening.